Welcome back to the channel, pilots. I'm your host, Pilot Bowser. And before we get into the EC-145 video, I have a couple announcements I'd like to make. As for the hiatus, unfortunately, that's going to kind of continue due to me being out of town for work a little bit more often. So I just want to clarify that. Also, for the sound reduction mods, those are still continuing. Unfortunately, the squirrel is down for maintenance, and the Airwolf is return to service. Yes, that is correct. Return to service. Also, we got a sound measuring device, which we're going to use so we can actually see the difference and hear the difference. Because someone mentioned in the comments it was kind of hard to hear, and I can agree. So I do read your comments and I do take your feedback. So what is coming to YouTube channel is the 3D print series. I feel confident in sharing my skills on 3D printing. I'm not an expert, so don't crucify me in the comments. If I make a mistake, these are just my tips and tricks. So the first thing we're going to do is this main gear from Flywing for the I think it's the V3s and the V4s. And we're going to test all different types of carbon fiber and glass filament that I have right here on hand. Because let's be real, sometimes when these main gears go out of stock, you can't fly and it just sucks. So if you have a 3D printer, well, you can print one. But I'm going to test it out for you so you can find the right material that will work for your helicopter and be safe and reliable. So I got a whole bunch of different types, like I said before, so stay tuned for that. And we're also going to do like silver arms and other parts, not just the main gear, but this is just an example. Also, we're going to bring a VTOL UAV that can fly for 2.5 hours. So looking forward to that. Yes. Also, I was able to figure out how to do a heads-up display on the helicopters. So stay tuned for that one. I might have figured that one out. I'm confident. I'm about 95% sure. I just got to get it and then test it out. So stay tuned from that one because that came from the VTOL aircraft, that idea, and that's what I'm going to go with. We're also going to be making a Striker 1/16 scale 3D print RC tank. I know somebody in the comments is going to say that's not a tank. Okay. Before we hash it in the comments, in War Thunder, if I can take out a T-90 tank with a Striker, it's a tank killer. And it's a tank. The name of the game of a Striker is just don't get hit.
Don't get destroyed.
Jokes aside. But I am a pretty good tanker in War Thunder. But a crappy pilot. Because those controls are funky. Alright, jokes aside. Also, I'm going to have a fuselages for helicopters, like Blue Thunder, for an example. Which I know people in the comments are going to say Blue Thunder is probably the most ugliest helicopter. Okay, it is, but it kicked off everything in the 80s for aviation. That's why we got a lot of those aviation films with helicopters, jets, and all that. And that's how you guys got Airwolf, for crying out loud. Well, without Blue Thunder, you would never got Airwolf. Just saying. I know someone's going to say that's a lie, Bowser. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Jokes aside. But for ado, let's get back into the video. Welcome back, guys, to another video, and here it is, the EC-145, the new helicopter I was talking about that was being added to my fleet, and she is just a beaut. She is still the same size as the EC-135, but she does have longer blades by like a couple inches. No inductive fan, just regular tail motor, and this is the V2. So they changed out the Emax motors for the traditional I don't know what kind of motor it is, but what brand is their own brand, and it looks kind of identical to the old Flywing motors, which is cool. I have plenty of those laying around, and she's just a beauty. I did get her set up with a FPV camera, so when she's good to fly on this Maiden, we're gonna put the camera on it. This compartment is humongous, so let me just take this apart. There So this is pretty roomy in there. I got a 5000. This is my remote ID that I fly with, and it is just roomy. So looking forward to this. I have my head speed set at 70%. So hopefully that will be a good start point. And further ado, let's get this bad boy in the air. Wow, this thing is pretty good. So, a funny story about this helicopter. It's been about, I had it for about 2 weeks. There was some technical issues when I got it from Flesh. And for some reason, my collective was acting like the elevator, and my elevator was acting like the collective. And come to find out, my flight controller for somehow reset it by itself. And so that took a minute to figure out. I went to the Flywing group to see if somebody could help me out, and they told me just reset the flight controller, and I did, and so far it's awesome. I also did a swash plate leveler. So I level everything out, because for some reason when I get a Flesh helicopter, it's perfect on one helicopter and the second helicopter is not, and or vice versa. But what I mean by that, the little bird, one of the servos, ours was over tightened, so I could never get that off. So that's that. But the EC-145 was perfectly leveled. I didn't have to do anything, not touch any of the settings. But for this guy, I had the same issue like the little bird. They over tighten it. So it's a hit and miss, but so far I like it. It's stable. Look at that, it's stable. And that's what I like about doing the swash plate leveler when you do it for the subtrans. And it's just holding its hover perfectly. And this thing's really, it likes 70% head speed. What I noticed, I think my tail gain is 27%. And it's just a beautiful helicopter. I like it. It's pretty cool. So thank you, FLISHRC, for this great helicopter that you guys made. And yeah, I'll shut up now and let you guys enjoy the flight. And it's quiet, surprisingly. I can't wait to do a tail motor. Okay, so I won't be able to do a tail motor mod because there's not enough room on the back side of it to do a tail motor mod. But we'll deal with the propellers. But it is quiet. Look how stable that is. Crazy. So at least the return to home works.